Today, I'd like to talk about affordable housing. This is a subject that's been getting an awful lot of attention lately, and for good reason. But what's causing it? Well, there's a couple of factors that affect the cost of housing, whether you're looking to buy or to rent. The lack of inventory of available homes brings us back to supply and demand. Low level of supply and demand that's pretty high, it pushes prices up. But what has caused this lack of inventory? So to just briefly summarize what has caused this lack of inventory, if we go back to the financial crash of like 2008-9, after the crash, new construction didn't keep up with the historical demand of newly constructed homes. And over the next 10 years, we developed about a 4 million home shortage of inventory based on demand. In addition to that, there's a couple other things that have really contributed to the low inventory also. Number one, there's been a lot of people that have gotten into the rental market. So you have not only mom and pops that wanted to pick up an investment property that they were going to rent either long-term or short-term, but we also had institutional investors get into this market in a manner that they really hadn't in the past. And I've seen varying statistics, but probably the most reliable one came out in like 2023. The Dallas Federal Reserve had said that about 1 in every 4 homes nationally was being bought by an institutional investor. So let's talk about that for a minute. You have these large financial institutions that are buying up single-family homes for the purpose of turning them into long-term rentals. Those are homes that will never come back on the market and be available to families that are looking to buy their primary residence. Instead, what began to happen is fewer and fewer homes were available for sale and more homes were available for rent. But there's also what I've heard commonly referred to as the lock-in effect. And that is folks with mortgages on their primary residence and substantially less than what the going interest rate is today. So let's just say for the case of this example, let's say interest rates are 6.5%. If somebody held a mortgage at 4%, they might be a little reluctant to put their house on the market because at the end of the day, their monthly mortgage payment might be equal to or more than where they are currently living. And whether they're upsizing or downsizing, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They just decide to stay put. And that's what people call the lock-in effect. And in some cases, it's pretty significant. I think 1 in 4 homes nationally that has a mortgage has an interest rate that's less than 3%. So, it's almost like free money that they have on a 30-year mortgage. So I wouldn't be very anxious to give that one up either. But regardless, as somebody is looking to make the choice right now between either renting a home or buying a home, I want you to consider a couple of things. In 2023, rents increased nationally on average by about 8%. And at that rate, rent would double after 9 years. So, for example, if you had rented a home today for $1,000 a month, within 9 years, you could expect that to be $2,000 a month. And after 15 years, that would be 3 times as much. After 30 years, renting that same home would cost you $10,000 a month. Let's compare that to buying a house. After you buy a house, your monthly mortgage amount doesn't increase. There may be an increase in taxes, your insurance, but it's going to be minor. The mortgage on your principal and interest payment is not going to increase, but the value of your property does increase. And if we look at the historical average of just a 4% return year after year, a home that you buy today for $300,000 based on that 4% return would be worth approximately $400,000 in about 7 years. And that's a $100,000 increase. So you're accumulating wealth. You got to pay to live somewhere. So you might as well own your home, start to accumulate some wealth. And in this example, you probably make about $100,000 after a 7-year period. And during that same time, if you had been renting, your rents would probably have close to doubled, but your mortgage payment didn't increase at all. I'd love to talk to you about this a little bit more. Please get in touch with me. If you're in the Pocono Mountains and you're looking to either buy or sell a home, please give me a call. I'd love to help you make your life better.